Hey, third graders, today we're going to be looking at fractions and deciding which one is bigger. We've done this a little bit before. We did some cross multiplying, if you remember. Okay, and we'll have to do that on some of them. Okay, but if the number on the bottom is the same, then we can look at the top number. Okay, you might need a little review. Okay, it's been a couple weeks. All right, so let's read the first one. The shelves in Roger's bookcase are 7/8 yards long. Circle that. Anna's bookcase has shelves that are 5/8 yard long. Okay, I can see that the bottom number is the same. Please write them over here. Okay. And when the bottom number is the same, I can look at the top number to tell which one's bigger. And if you remember, the top number is called the numerator. The bottom number is called the denominator. If you're ever taking a test and you forget and they're asking you which is which, I always remember that the D is down, and that's denominator. So that if you can't remember which one goes in which place, remember that the D is on the bottom, remember down. So whose bookcase has longer shelves? Okay, so I look at both of them, and I know I can look at my top number, right? So I've got 7 here and 5 here. So I know that this fraction is bigger. So 7/8 is bigger than 5/8. So their question was, whose bookcase is longer? I'm going to put Roger, because that's his name. He had the longer bookcase. Okay, and then it says, how do you know? I'm not going to have you write that out, but you would just say 7/8 is bigger than 5/8. Okay, but we kind of did that right over here. So we showed our work. So as long as you show your work, you don't always have to explain your answer. Okay. All right, but I have to see work over here. Let's look at the next one, because I'm looking ahead and I see that the bottom numbers are different. Let's start reading the question. Rosa buys 3/4 pound of cheese. Lucy buys 3/8 pound of cheese. Who buys more cheese? Okay, I'm looking at the bottom numbers and they're different, so we can't compare them like we did in number 1. So I'm going to go over on the side and I'm going to show my work, and I'm going to write both of my fractions. Okay, and then you're going to remember when I show you, because we did it before, but we do something called cross multiplying. And you guys are super good at multiplying. So we've done the X before, where we go 4 times 3, and then we go 8 times 3. So we make like an X in the middle. But I'm going to show you the butterfly method, which is the same thing, but it leaves a little space. So can you do this? Those are the numbers I'm going to times, okay? And then I'm also going to times these numbers. Does that look like a butterfly to you? Kind of, right? So it's either called cross multiplying or the butterfly method. So now we have to put our numbers on top after we multiply. So 3 times 8, you need to write that right here. And 4 times 3, I need to write that right there. Maybe you can do that without looking at your table. That would be amazing. Okay. So 3 times 8. See if you can write it before me. 3 times 8 is 24. 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, which number is bigger? 24 or 12? Well, you know that, don't you? You know that 24 is bigger, and that's on this side. So I know that 3/4 is the bigger fraction. Okay, so let's go back to our question. It says, who buys more cheese? Is it Rosa, who buys 3/4, or Lucy, who buys 3/8? We know now that it's Rosa, don't we? So we can go down on our line and we can answer their question. Who buys more cheese? Rosa. Okay. I like the butterfly method, or you can do the X in the middle and do cross multiplying too, but I want you to try the butterfly method on a few of these, okay? All right, we're gonna do one more together on this page, okay? And we have 3 pages today, but it's gonna go pretty quickly for you, okay? So don't get overwhelmed when you see 3 pages, because it's gonna be just fine. Mrs. Hagen's gonna help you. All right, let's look at number 3. Vera has the same size muffin pan. Vera has the same size muffin pans. She fills 8 out of 4 or 8/4 pans with cranberry muffins and 8/6 pans with banana muffins. Okay, so we've got 2 kinds of muffins, don't we? All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to write our fractions over on the side. It doesn't matter what order I put them in. Okay, I'm just going to go with the order they are in the story problem. So I'm going to start with Vera. She has 8/4. Then I'm going to go, Vera has 8/4 of the cranberry. Okay, I'm going to put a little C down here for cranberry, just so I remember. Then she has 8/6 of the banana. Put a little B here for banana. I hope you do that too when I look at your work. All right, now I can see that my bottom numbers are not the same, so I need to do the butterfly method or the cross multiplying. I can't just, if the bottom numbers were the same, I could just look at the top numbers and tell. All right, here we go. Let's make our butterfly. You're getting good at this now because you already did it. All right, and then make your other butterfly wing, okay? And then remember, we're going to put a number here and a number here. The first one's going to be 8 times 6, or 6 times 8. If you have trouble remembering that one, I like to say 6 times 8 I used to hate. Now I know it's 48. Okay, you might remember that one forever now. And then let's do the other side of the butterfly. 4 times 8. Okay, and sometimes when I see a 4 times something, I know 2 times 8 is 16, so I could just do 16 plus 16 and figure that out, if that helps you. So 4 times 8 is 32. Okay, so now I can say which is bigger, 48 or 32. Makes it pretty easy for you then, isn't it? We know that she made more cranberry muffins. One thing I forgot to do on the one above that you can do too is put the greater than or less than sign in there. So if this is the bigger fraction, I would do the bigger part of the mouth right there. That's the cool thing about doing the butterfly. You have room for that. We forgot to do that up on number 2. So let's go do that. This side was bigger, so we would go like that. All right. So let's go back to look at our question. Does she have fewer cranberry muffins or banana muffins? Notice this is a very important word. Which does she have fewer of? Fewer, not more. So actually, this is the bigger one that we circled, but that's actually not the one that we're going to be looking at, okay? Because we want to know what she has less of. So what would that be? She has less of the banana, doesn't she? You don't need to do the how do you know part because we already showed our work because we're awesome. All right. Now, you have 2 to do on your own, okay? You guys have this. It's all good, okay? I'm going to take my fractions and I'm going to write them over on the side and I'm going to do the butterfly method, okay? But then you need to pay close attention. Has he painted more? Okay, let's read number 5 because there is something a little bit tricky about that one. It says Rusty painted 5/6 of a mural. That's like a poster for a hallway. Has he painted more than half of the mural? Okay, so we're going to be using this and we're going to see which one's bigger. Okay, so let's look at those together over here. We have 5/6. and 1/2. Okay, you need to figure out if he's painted more than a half. Okay, so do your cross multiplying and you're going to figure out which side is bigger and you're going to say yes or no. Okay, it's not that tricky. You're going to circle one of those. Okay, you're going to see which one bigger. Is he done with more than a half or not? Okay. All right, so I want you to finish those two up and pause the video and then meet me on the next page. Thanks, guys. All right, this looks like a fun page, doesn't it? We are going to be working on fractions of a set. Okay, you did some fractions in 2nd grade as well. Okay, fractions of a set. All right, let's look at our buttons on number 10. What fraction of the buttons are large buttons? Okay, one thing we want to remember when we're writing a fraction, okay, I'm going to put some lines here, is that the number on the bottom, okay, pretend this is a fraction, the number on the bottom is the total number of all the things that are there. Very important to remember. The top number is the part that they're asking about. Okay, so like right now, they're asking about the large buttons. That would be my top number, okay? And the total number of all the buttons, counting the large ones too, would go on the bottom. So I want you to see if you can write the number of large buttons in the top section for me. You can tell which ones are large. Okay, can you write that number on the top of the fraction? Perfect. Did you get 2? Yep, perfect. Some people use this line right here as the fraction line. You could do that too if you wanted. And then remember, the bottom is the total of all the buttons. So can you count all of the buttons? Try to write it down before me. All right, you're pretty quick. Did you put 7? 2/7 of the buttons are large. Okay. I want you to do the same thing on your own for number 11. It says, what fraction of the balls are soccer balls? Soccer balls are going to go on the top. All the balls are going to go on the bottom. I want you to do that one on your own, okay? Do that. You can pause if you need to. All right, then we're going to look at the next two, which have a little bit different directions. All right, the first one says, first let's read our directions. Write 2 fractions to answer each question. Notice that there are 2 lines, okay? I'm going to put a fraction here and a fraction here. What fraction of the coins are pennies? Now notice that there's groups. Did anyone notice that there are groups? So we are going to do the groups first. I'm going to put groups right here. So, and then we're going to do something different for the second one, okay? So how many groups are pennies? Okay, do you see one group that is pennies? Yes, and then how many groups are there in all? Remember, that bottom number is in all or total. How many groups are up in the picture? 4, right? Now, when they say write another fraction, here's the cool thing. This time you're not going to do groups. You're still going to do pennies, but you're not going to do groups. So if you counted the pennies, how many are there? That's going to be your top number. Okay, did you get 2? And then how many coins are there in all? If I counted, I could count by 2s, couldn't I? 2, 4, 6, 8. And then I would have 2/8. Pretty cool, huh? So the first one is going to be your group one, and the second one is going to be like individual, okay? All right, let's look at the next one. What fraction of the pieces in the fruit are pears? Remember, the first fraction is going to be the group. Okay, how many groups are there? Okay, let's do our top number first. How many groups have pairs in them? Only one group has pairs, doesn't it? Out of how many groups total? 2 groups total. Okay, and then this is the one where we count all of the pairs and all of the fruit for the bottom. Okay, so on the top, you're going to put the pairs. On the bottom, you're going to put all of the fruit pieces. Okay, I'm not going to tell you that one because I want you to do it. Okay, you've got that. All right, let's look at the bottom part. A lot of this we have to do parts of it together, guys, because we're just starting. Okay. All right, next one says shade the given fraction of each set. So they're giving you a fraction. You need to shade that many. Okay, so here we go. 7 out of 11. We know that the 11, okay, you know what the 11 on the bottom is. That's all of the dots. The top number is always the shaded. Okay, I want you to remember that. The top is the shaded. So we have 7 on the top. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, it does not matter which 7 dots you do as long as you have 7 of the 11. Okay? Please make sure you do the next 2 on your own. You've got this, and then pause the video right now till you finish, and then meet me on the last page for today. All right, this is our last page for today. We're going to zoom in a little bit, okay? All right, I'm going to show you how to do these, and then you are going to work on your own. I'm going to draw a line across on these so that I have room to show my work. It's going to be the only thing really different about it is there's going to be some fractions that are in words, okay? And once I do the first one, I think it's going to go pretty quick for you. Okay, let's read the first one. 1/6. Think about that. 1/6. Go ahead and write that right above there. Don't let them trick you with the words. 1/6. 1/6 of Kiera's cousins have red hair. Kiera has 12 cousins. How many cousins have red hair? Okay, so what I'm saying is I'm looking at 1/6, do this with me, of, we're doing it a little different here, of 12. That's our problem. Now, you won't believe how easy it is to figure these out. Okay, 1/6 of 12. What I do is I take the 12 and I divide by 6 to get the answer. Okay, so I'm taking my 12 and I'm dividing by the bottom number of the fraction to get my answer. That will tell you how many cousins have red hair. Well, 12 divided by 6. How many 6s are in 12? You probably already wrote that in there, didn't you? You should have gotten 2. So then I take my 2, I bring it over to the line, and of course I need a label, and I know that's my word after many, so 2 cousins. Okay? 1/6 of 12 is 2. So I'm already looking at the next one, and I see 1/3. 1/3. We're not getting tricked. 1/3 of the students on the bus are in the 3rd grade. There are 15 students on the bus. How many students on the bus are in the 3rd grade? Take your fraction, bring it over here, put the word of right here. 1/3 of 15. We got this. Now I know what to do, don't I? I need to take my 15 divided by my 3. So fun. Okay, 15 divided by 3 to get my answer. Okay, how many 3s are in 15? If you need to use your table, you can. 15 divided by 3. Did you get 5? Hopefully you did. So I come over here and I write 5. And then my label would be students fun, right? You guys are good at this already, I can tell. All right, so Mrs. Hagan is leaving you with these 3 and then the other stuff that is on the other pages, okay? When I see 1/2, what does that mean? Think about 1/2 of the pizza. 1/2 is 1/2. That was the only one that you might get tricked. Otherwise, the rest of them, okay, I'm seeing them, and I'm seeing them, and I'm seeing them, and I'm seeing them, okay? So you got this, guys. Have fun today.